What's up, guys? It's Ziggy from Lowcast Podcast. This is one of our old podcasts we did on SoundCloud, and the reason why I'm re-uploading this on YouTube is because things are not really working out too well on SoundCloud. I just didn't like the limitations, But hopefully this works out pretty well, and we're hoping to get more viewers and more subscribers and all that since I've created, YouTube and I created Instagram and a Facebook. I mean, there's some people that like it. I make comments here and there. I'll put like short clips on Instagram and just like little short funny clips that we used to record when we used to have video before. And yeah, I mean it's I can't really remember what this podcast is about because I haven't listened to it in a long time, so I'm hoping it's hold on. I'm actually recording this on sunny Vegas, so that's why it's fucking, so I'm kind of distracted right now, trying to get rid of this stupid track right here. God damn it. Well, it's not letting me do it, but anyways. So yeah, this is it shouldn't take too long for me to actually fix the audio again and make some minor adjustments here and there, but for the most part, I'm not sure if I'm talking a lot on this one, but we'll see. I'm not really fucking too certain. So hope you enjoy it. And we'll record another podcast today, hopefully, once I get in contact with Pony. Alright, enjoy. Okay, go ahead.
Welcome, motherfuckers. This is Lower Class Podcast. This is Pony.
This is Ziggy.
And just to let you guys know, we're just quick update. Actually, we're doing this. We're updating this onto SoundCloud. Probably this is where you're listening to it. We used to be on YouTube. We've been around for about a year. We just kind of reinvented ourselves just to do the audio, which is much more easier. Just the fact that we don't have to like deal with the whole lighting and camera bullshit.
Yeah, the video process was a little bit more, not, I wouldn't say an inconvenience, but it's a lot simpler this way. At least I don't have to edit too much, like especially this is just audio, so there's probably nothing I have to do besides uploading it to SoundCloud. Because right now, I don't know, I guess a hacker attacked some websites, including SoundCloud, so that's why it's not working right now. So right now I'm just recording it from my laptop, and then I'll upload it later after we're finished.
Yeah, so basically what we're all about is more of a interest. We used to be about music, bands, and politics and so on. I think now it's more about interest. What really interests is more of a for us it's more of a gamble to see if what we can, if it's anything's touchy or not. More your reaction is our, what do you call it? Our what fuels us. There you go.
Yeah.
So that's so we're not doing the whole politics this and that. Whatever interests us, and then we can poke in whatever shows us.
Yeah, because we actually recorded a podcast last night, but the thing is, I kind of fucked up on that part because after we recorded it wouldn't. And I felt like I thought my internet was knocked off, and I figured, well, maybe if I restart it, it's not gonna erase the audio, but it did. It didn't have like a temporary save feature, so I was like, all right, fine, whatever. And then I texted Pony. I told him that audio got lost, and then we had to record it again. And it just so happens that he came by today to pick up the mic for a friend to use. So I asked him if he wanted to do it, and he's like, yeah, sure.
Yeah, after drinking yesterday, got a mini hangover. Was going to the gym. I'm actually dressed up for the gym right now. I'm just like, fuck that shit. I don't be rude, but I like to go to the gym, but this is one of those days. No, actually, I don't like going to the gym. I just do it because it's a necessity for my body. It's like homework. I don't want to do it, but I gotta do it. Because if not, I won't, you don't graduate.
Mm-hmm.
I don't get old and go, oh, fuck, I have arthritis or something. You're like, oh, I can't move. I blew out my back, and I don't want to be that person. I mean, even though we smoke, well, you know, at least my body will be capable of certain things, and you know, it'll take me longer to get cancer since I'm actually working on my breathing. But yeah, so basically, our whole thing right now is more of the intro. We're basically gonna, you know, like I mentioned before, we gonna touch on stuff that are in our interest, like anything. It doesn't really matter to tell you the truth.
Yeah, for those of you that are new listeners or, you know, returning listeners, you pretty much know what we talk about. But for those of you that don't know, we like to talk about whatever's on our mind, you know. But I would say for sure, politics is on the very end of our list of things to talk about.
Yeah, America, we have freedom of speech, bitch.
Yeah,
we can say whatever the fuck we want.
Because we had a lot recorded last night. We had over an hour and 20 minutes recorded, but after that it was all lost. I was kind of pissed off a little bit, you know.
Ain't that a bitch? Yeah. Fucking so far ahead in technology, 2016. Shit still fucks up. It is coming from space. Don't get me wrong, but there's little things we gotta work on. Yeah,
I mean, hopefully this whole thing with SoundCloud is fixed. If not, then I might have to go to a different website to upload this. There's plenty of websites that, you know, you could upload podcasts. Because I think with SoundCloud, there's a certain amount of minutes you could record, and after that, you have to become a pro member. You have to pay for it, I think. Because from what I saw when I was, because we actually went through SoundCloud to record it the first time, it said that you only get 180 minutes free, and then after that you have to become like a pro member or something. I don't know. That's what that's what it said right there. I could be wrong, but you know.
So yeah, so our story and the story of this podcast is more the reason it's called Lower Class Podcast. There's various reasons. We are local San Diegans, lived here almost all our life. The area that we live in is more of the not poverty. I mean, I would say more in the lower end.
Yeah, it's mostly lower class and middle class.
Exactly.
But for the most part, it's lower class. Like, for me personally, I'm not considered lower class. I'm actually considered middle class, but that's because my dad is middle class. But if I was to live by myself, I'd be lower class.
Yeah, well, broke motherfucker. I always lived like that before.
Even though considering what I make a year, it's on like the edge of like maybe lower class and, you know, okay, because I already looked up how much I make a year. I make about almost 29 to 30,000 a year, which is I think that might be before taxes maybe, but still that's not a whole lot.
Yeah, but yeah. So our whole point about this is just how to just mentioning what goes out here. South Bay was known to be like the hood. In a sense, not Compton wise, like we mentioned.
Yeah, by no means it's compared to Compton or those places, or you know.
I mean, you're looking at we live near the border, so you're probably looking at gangsters, cholos, drug dealers, and fucking all that shit. We used to be known for being disruptive, not disruptive.
Yeah, I would say the majority of this area in particular, I think maybe about almost 50% of this population in this area is Mexican.
Yeah.
Almost.
But so basically, you know, we've done some crazy ass shit, I guess you can say, in a sense. We did bring to the city a lot of troubles. A lot of things. But in the end, you know, everything worked out on its own. We were able to learn and understand not to be, you know, little sissies, how it is nowadays. Cyberbullying this and, you know, all this bullying bullshit. I'm like, how the fuck? Like, even what pisses me off right now is that people who are on Facebook right now, they're posting up this whole thing that parents should get fined for kids who get bullied by their kids. I'm like, what? No. You know, I don't understand that. I don't come from the suburb, you know? I don't, that's, to me, that sounds retarded or illogical or something.
Illogical.
Yeah, it shouldn't be the fact that anyone should be fined. Understand that bullying, if it's cyberbullying, what do? You do the same thing they did back in when The Simpsons came out the first time. It was offensive, we'll change the channel. Easy as that. Or On Facebook, it'll be deleted, block them. What the fuck, you know?
Yeah, I would say cyberbullying is like,
It's like a myth.
It's a new, generation of it's another form of bullying.
Yeah.
I mean, some people are a little bit more sensitive to cyberbullying. If you are, socially, active on social media or whatever. But me personally, I only have an Instagram. I could care less about Facebook. I did have one. Technically, I still got one, but my account is deactivated. But if I wanted to go back, I can still do that. But cyberbullying is
to tell you the truth, to be honest, I found cyberbullying being a joke.
yeah, it's more of a new generation thing. Because when we were in high school, this wasn't really.
I know
it wasn't really a common thing.
Yeah, and you know what? To us, like we said, it didn't even matter to us. I mean, to us, it was like, okay, well, actions are stronger than the words for us. We're like, you.
Yeah, because any form of bullying should not be taken lightly. I mean, if you know how to stand up for yourself, more power to you. But if you can't handle it, just let somebody know. You don't be afraid. It doesn't make you a weak person if you tell an adult or
More, I would suggest more tell a friend.
Because it's a form of harassment.
It is a form of harassment, but I think in the sense, any type of bullying, kind of makes you grow up. Or,
I'm having a deja vu. I think we talked about this on our first podcast.
Oh, that's true. I think we did.
Yeah, the first one we recorded on my dad's video camera.
I think right now.
So happens we're actually in the garage recording that same thing. I'm pretty sure we talked about this.
I think now it sounds more a little bit more professional because we're so used to it now.
Yeah,
it's more flowing. Because back in the day, when we
actually, you know what? I think it's a lot easier just to record an audio than a video because we have to worry about not how we look, but just how everything is.
Yeah, exactly.
Because we're focusing on the webcam itself. But now we're just
doing the audio.
Yeah, it's pretty much like we're just having conversations amongst each other.
Yeah, no, but in reality, I feel like bullying it helps you toughen up. And when someone tells me, when I read that, the parents of the bully should be fined.
But it's also could have like a negative effect on some people. Like they could commit suicide.
Oh yeah, I know. Yeah, I understand that, but in my sense, it's not more of like, you're. I mean, obviously that I would suggest always tell a friend, so at least you have.
Because there's a real fine line between bullying and making fun of somebody.
Exactly,
they're pretty much the same thing. But some people could take it the wrong way. Like if they're joking, they're like, "Oh, that's fucked up. Why are you making fun of me? This and that, blah blah." Because they'll misinterpret that as bullying, but it is a form of bullying. It's almost the same thing. But it just all depends how you are. If you're sensitive to those kind of things, then just stand up for yourself. Don't be afraid. These people are.
My whole point was about that more because they want to find, they want to give out tickets to these parents who. Like, oh, your son is bullying, you're not doing nothing about it. I think it's not more of I think the parents should reevaluate how they're parenting, not more of like.
Yeah, because a lot of these people that are bullies, they have they have problems at home. They're problem childs. So they're just taking their anger out on other people.
Exactly. And if someone goes, we're going to fine and this and that, I was like, no, I mean, what you got to do to them? Because what you're doing is basically, I mean, I understand parenting, your actions, expose, your children's exposed to it and then they reflect on it. And the way I see it is like, I don't think anyone should ever be fined for that kind of stuff. Sometimes the kids, us as kids.
Yeah, when you, I don't know, you call police for bullying like that. I mean, it makes no sense. That's a personal matter. You have to
exactly
handle within your family.
Exactly, that's a personal matter. No one should ever be fined, given a ticket because you have problems at home. You should probably get a ticket. No. One, I do suggest always to stand up. Two, I would suggest to tell somebody more of your friend wise, someone can defend you. If you have the chance, I would suggest if you see a person in real life, I would suggest punch that bully. Punch him in the face. Trust me, he's not gonna. You punch him once, he's gonna punch you.
But a lot of them are just testing you. They're seeing how tough you are, and if you stand up to them, chances are that. I mean, it's not always gonna work out, but chances are they'll leave you alone.
Yeah,
they'll have more respect towards you.
You're like the first punch that you give out, they're gonna see you, they're gonna respect you. He's like, oh fuck, that guy did punch me, And I'm like, all right, well, I'm kind of done here because
if you let bullying,
bully you.
take over your whole life, then people will just walk all over you.
Yeah, I mean, I've been when I was what is it, elementary school, middle school, I've been bullied, and in elementary school, it didn't work out that well because
Yeah, because we were all bullied. I don't know, maybe not a lot of people know this,
Yeah.
but actually, I didn't know Pony was bullied, and he probably didn't know I was bullied either.
yeah,
But I guess that's something everybody goes through,
yeah, and it's true because
or some form or shape of bullying.
and the worst part is that with me is that when I get bullied, I have the tendency to snap, and I remember all those cases where
Yeah, because when we were in high school, there was a word for that. It was called nerd rage.
yeah
'Cause
yeah
you have like built up aggression. Even now, like I have a lot of built up aggression, and if I was well, I'm not saying I'm gonna get bullied, but if I was pushed to the edge, I would probably snap too.
yeah because I've been there a lot of times.
It's almost happened when I was in my previous employments too, you know.
I know, right? Yeah, that's true. Because
Especially working in what I do, like with security and everything. Security, it's pretty a lot of these stubborn homeless or whatever, they don't want to listen, and they get on my nerves when they talk shit to me. So
yeah, because like I've been pushed to the edge, where to the point. I mean, both elementary and middle school, I remember the elementary school too. Some kids were pushing me around, and because I was fat, I remember grabbing one and just threw him across like the fucking the playground.
yeah, that's one. Bullies mostly target the overweight or the
Yeah.
weak or like the so-called nerds. More so the overweight because they're an easy target for them.
And you know what? In middle school, they tried to do the same shit at both schools because I got kicked out from one middle school and went to another. That's where I met Michael. The first one, I was being bullied, but I don't know what the heck I would do. People would go on get on top of my back, like they were like piggyback. I remember he's doing like the judo fucking throw. I was like, fuck you, and I threw him, bam, started crying like a little bitch. I'm like, why are you crying? Like, you started this shit. Other guys would try to punch me, and I'll punch him back. Started crying. I was like, why are you crying? Like, this is what you expect. This is what's gonna happen. I go to the other middle school, which is the other one where I met Michael.
Montgomery.
Yeah, and I remember there was some dude who was bullying everybody, and I got kind of pissed off at that. I was like, I don't stand for this kind of things. I'm like, I beat that guy because I remember kicking his ass a while back, and
I mean, we both understand how it feels to be bullied. You feel powerless,
yeah.
And then when you see it happen to others, you kind of want to step in and say, hey, what are you doing, man? Leave that kid alone. But at the same time, it's if you don't know the person, why get involved,
Yeah, and it's true because like I was saying, it's like this guy was like bullying everybody, and I remember the people who he's bullying. I got kind of pissed off. I'm like, fuck you, and I told him I kicked his ass before. And then the guy, I remember one day he confronts me going home, and he has like a plastic fork, and he like tries he pretends he's gonna stab me, and I'm standing there, and then I just look at him, and he's like pretends he's gonna stab me, and I don't even flinch. I'm like, just look at him, and he looks at my face, and he's like trying to do it at my face, and I'm like, I'm not gonna flinch. It's like I'm not gonna move. And he kind of looks at me. He's like, ooh. He doesn't say anything. He can't. He does nothing come back because his friend even stared at him, and he's went, "Whoa, was kind of worthless." Walked away. After that, nothing ever happened. I've never seen that fool ever again. After that, he kind of just like disappeared on us.
Yeah, a lot of these bullies need to be put in their place,
Yeah.
And after that, they'll realize what they're doing to people. If not, then they're lost. But for the most part, when you stand up to them, maybe I shouldn't do this to people, because you got to give them their own taste of their own medicine,
Yeah, because like Michael said, Ziggy mentioned that we have like nerd rage, and yes, we did have nerd rage. And once we went to middle school, that's when everything got everything got planned out more, where we would defend those who needed help. In a sense, like even if you're, I don't care. We didn't care if you're a nerd, drama, or whatever the fuck you were. We would defend you, and then there was a group of people. There was a group of us who would defend everybody. It didn't matter. I mean, because we didn't believe in oh fuck, well that guy's getting bullied, leave him alone. No, it was more of a fuck that fool ain't getting no bullied by anybody.
Yeah, that's the thing about our group. When we were going to school, we never really discriminated anybody. We were friends with a bunch of people. It didn't matter if you were a so-called nerd or you're popular or whatever. Mm-hmm. As long as you were cool, we were fine with that.
Yeah, because even then, like even Shit, even now, like I don't see him bullying. I never actually. When I was when I worked different jobs, anybody who tried bullying anybody, I would like talk them down. I'm a really nice person. A lot of people know that I'm really nice. I'm like you talk to me and you ever see me, you'll know that I look really domicile. Like I'm really really not like I have like a friendly face. You don't. I mean, it doesn't look like I have any rage, but at the same time, I've stood up for people where to the point, I've put them in their spot. Like even in some of my jobs where I worked before, there's a couple of people who try to like act like bullies and start bullying people around, or more of like what do you tell them? Try to take command when they're classified as as the same as you. Like oh, you're a stalker and you're trying to pretend that you're a leader. It's like you're not a leader if you're like demanding shit. All right. The way that shit works, I mean, if you want to be a leader and you're still the stalker, a regular worker, you come out not as an asshole, but you need to come out as like, oh, well, I work with you, we do the same job, type of thing.
Yeah, it doesn't matter. Even if you have like seniority at your work, it doesn't give you the, it doesn't mean you have that ability to be a bully or tell people what to do.
Exactly.
They're just abusing power, especially with managers, because I've experienced that before in my previous employments, where my bosses would talk down to everybody, not just me, and I could have easily reported that person, but I said, you know what, it's not worth my time.
And what's funny, in the cases like that, I've only faced off one that ever talked down on me. One manager, and that was at a certain franchise industry called Panera, where there's this chick. I guess there were 4 managers that rotated. Each one had their day. Like everybody was an assistant manager, and then that day would be one of the assistant managers would be the manager. So they'll rotate. It's like, oh, I'm assistant manager today. You're a manager. Blah blah blah. That you take command. Yeah. And so on. That's how it worked. And there was one girl that nobody ever liked. Well, it looked like everybody liked her, but after what I did, they went after they shook my hand, hugged me. I did not understand what the fuck was happening. So yeah, so this person always talked down to everybody, like, oh, you gotta do this. You're oh, I remember because they said, because my schedule didn't comply with theirs when I already explained to them that my first job goes first, because it's the one that gives me more hours and full time there, and then did that job that from Panera was more of a part time, and I was using it to get more money, pay some things off. And then this person's going, oh, well, your schedule didn't comply with us. You didn't tell us that. So I'm like, yes, I did. And he's like, no, my other manager's saying you're not. I was like, are you serious? Because I told her 3 times what was going on. I exactly told you, I told 3 times. And then she's over here saying, well, I would have known this. We wouldn't have wasted our time training you. You were a waste of time. You were a waste of space. And then that's where I got kind of pissed off. And then another manager came in and started, try to do the same thing. I was like, wait. I told you guys what's up. At my job, I'm not going to jeopardize my first job over this job. This is nothing to me. This is a franchise. This ain't shit. And I told her, how about this? And this is during lunch hour, 12 p.m. Lunch hour in a busy area where the hospital's at and there's some offices at. So I left it hanging dry. I went, fuck it. I quit. I went to clock out. I gave him my resignation. As I was walking out, the girl goes, the girl starts crying, and it's like, you need to put that on paper. All pissed off. I put it on paper. I didn't do a big ass sentence. I said, I Omar quit, and it's line on the bottom. There you go. I'm like, you want your apron? No, you can keep the apron. I threw that shit in the trash. As I walk outside, I did fuck that shit. Yeah. I walk outside, and then I guess some of the coworkers found out, and then they kind of like started saying, are you Omar? Are you the guy who made that girl cry, or who made that boss cry? Because she was an asshole from what I heard. And this girl goes, I want to hug you because I've never seen her cry in my life, and this and that. And then this other manager actually went up to me too. Was like, dude, I can't believe you did that. Like that's the first time I've ever seen that girl cry too. It's like, no one likes her. And then he shook my hand, and it was funny because right in front of the restaurant, I went out and he gave me and him were smoking cigarette, and as everybody was coming out, they can see me. I can see one dumb motherfucker I didn't like, some white fool who pretended to be like some weird. He looked like a little screamo bitch. In reality, sorry, but he was staring at me down. I was like, what? And then I looked at him and I was like, what, bitch? What the fuck are you gonna do? He just walks away. It's like, that's what I thought. That's what you do. I mean, that's what you do. If someone is gonna pretend to, try to be tough and shit, don't do that. Don't do that. Just do your thing. That person and then me and that other person had our inequalities. We had our our whatever dilemma, you can say. But no, you don't get into involve in things that doesn't really involve you. You know what I mean?
Yeah, if you're not involved, don't step in.
Like that's my example as a bully that I stood up for a lot of people. And then like again, people shook my hand and hugged me after I stood up to this Hitler. So I'm like, oh, all right, well, this is new to me because I didn't know she was like a bitch. I did not know whatsoever any of those girls were bitches. And I was pretty amazed. I was like, oh, that's pretty cool. I was like, I guess I was one of those, I don't know what the fuck I was. I just walked away happy with a face. And I remember who is it? The other manager started texting me back and shit. It's like, no, I need you to come back to do this right and this and that. And this is not the bully. This is some other managers like, oh, like, no, I was so embarrassed to go back. I was like, I'm not going to go back. I already said what I had to say. And I looked so fucked up going back. I was like, you need to apologize. I'm not going to apologize for shit. I told her. I was like, she needs to apologize to me. For her to be saying that kind of shit, I'm not going back. And then it seemed like after I told her that, she texted back, like, oh, I understand. It's like, okay, well, I guess it seems like they lied. They told her something else. And then this is the manager. This manager who's texted me is a sister of my my other friend, which is Yesenia, and it was Anna. And Anna knows that I won't lie. I don't like to lie. I hate lying. So he's like, oh, I understand. Never went back. I'm like, fuck that shit. But yeah, like when it goes to bullying, I would suggest anybody stand up. Even if it doesn't involve you in that sense, and it is and that person is the bully, I would suggest to stand up for that one person.
Yeah.
I don't.
Yeah.
I mean, if you're gonna be a bully, you yourself individually gonna be a bully, that's a bitch move. You should never be a bully to anybody, not even on the road. If you're a grown ass man, you're like 19 years old and whatnot, you should never be a fucking bully. There's no such thing as an adult to be a bully. If you're a bully, then you're still immature. You're still living in like a fucking, I don't know what, your quarterback year era. You should never do that. I don't give a fuck who the fuck you are. It's like, oh, I have a better car than you. I don't give a fuck. Once we crash, who dies? We both die. So that really, that never counted. Do you bleed red? Because I fucking sure do. If I smack you in the face, would it hurt? Because it hurts me too. Fuck that. I don't care how rich or how much money you got. You should never be a bully. Ever. Fuck that.
Yeah.
Because it seems that's what it seems like nowadays. It seems like just because you have like the high end bullshit, you're like, yo, you're a hot shit. Like you start being a bully, but when you get smacked around, what happens? You start crying like a little bitch, and you're like, oh, I'm gonna kick his ass. I'm like, wait, didn't that person just kick your ass? You had your opportunity. You still look like a little bitch. You're probably going back to your friends, just letting them know, like, oh, well, this person beat me up. Let's go shoot him up. It's like, yeah, because you always go down to fucking guns and knives, right? Fuck that.
Yeah, it's never fair with some people. They always resort to weapons.
Yeah, and that's how like gangster mentality works.
Yeah, because especially me, I don't like when it comes to confrontation. I only confront somebody when it's really necessary. If it's not necessary, I'm not gonna do it because me personally, I'm a pacifist when it comes to fighting.
Yeah, and it's true because a couple of times, I mean, at the hotel, I remember the first time Michael worked there at the hotel, there was this homeless guy like had his shit all in the garage under the building, had it all scattered all over the place, and I kind of did realize that because I went up to the guys like, you can't be here, you need to get out here now, like that. And I kind of understood. It's like, okay, I did come out as wrong. Like I had a point because I did disrespect him in a sense because I did not.
But sometimes these people don't deserve our respect, and you have to kind of talk to them like that because sometimes talking to them professionally or in a kind manner is not always gonna work. From what I've
that's true, but like this time he actually left right after I was like, I'm sorry, but I need you to get off the property.
Yeah, and especially Pony being off the clock already. I was just walking down with him to have a cigarette real quick, and then I'll get back to work. And he told him first, and then I told him again. He's like, well, you don't need to tell me again. I'm like, well, you better leave now, because I could have easily like not threatened him, but told him you got two options: you leave now, or I'll call the police. If I said that, he would obviously leave. Mm-hmm. But see, the thing is, I can't talk to anybody like that at work. So
yeah, it is. Yeah, I know sometimes it is hard.
Yeah,
because you do have the rage there, and then sometimes you can't do certain things you want to do. that you want to do. Like I think this time, this recent time this week, some guy was disappointed that he didn't get the upper floor and stuff, and he requested it too, and he said I paid extra this and that, and I'm like, I'm like apologizing, and he's still going, well, if I known that was a waste of time. I would never have paid for that. If I would have known that, I would never book the room. He was saying all that kind of stuff, and I'm like, I do apologize, but yeah, if I would have known that, I wouldn't have stayed there. And then I'm like, do you want to check in still? He goes, what am I gonna do? Sleep in my car? And I straight up stared at him. I completely stared at his eyes. I don't stare at anybody in the eyes. I always see that as I only stare at women in the eyes. And then if I'm angry, I'll stare at a guy in their eyes when they piss me off. That's the only way I stare to anybody in their eyes. This guy pissed me off. Stared at him in the eyes. This guy's fucking bulky though. This fucker is like fucking ginormous. I don't know what the fuck. He had muscles, and he was bald too. And then I'm like you know what? I'm like, and he's like over here. He's like, if I would have known that, I wouldn't have checked in. And I kind of had it when he said, oh well, if I would have known that. I was like, where do I sleep, in my car? And I just looked at him and went, sir, I'm just giving you an option. That's up to you what you want to do, but I'm giving you an option, all right? Do you want to check in? And he goes, he stayed quiet. He's like, I guess he wasn't even into shock.
That's the thing about working at that. What I've learned working at that hotel is that a lot of the people that stay there, they have really bad tempers, and a lot of them have really bad mental issues because a lot of people that stay there apparently. I mean, don't get me wrong, it's an okay hotel, considering that. I mean, it's a cheap for suites. They're pretty cheap considering comparing prices at other hotels around that area, especially Pacifica Hotels is all over California or some parts of California, But that area in particular, because there's a hospital. There's 2 hospitals. There's one behind the hotel and there's one across the street from the hotel. Mm-hmm. And a lot of the people that check in, they love to complain about the small things, which is very surprising for me. It's what is there to complain about? You got pretty much the way these hotel rooms are. They're pretty much almost like an apartment. You got a full kitchen, a stove, microwave, oven. You got all the necessities. They even provide you with pots and pans and shit.
Yeah.
Plates, whatever you need. The only thing they don't provide is room service. They don't have an actual like a staff that cooks food for you and delivers it to your room. But they do provide free breakfast every morning from 6:30 to 9:30. Sometimes a little bit later, depending on when the breakfast attendant gets there. But for the most part, there's nothing really to complain about. The majority of the complaints we get at that hotel is probably the parking. And don't get me wrong, the parking is small, but that's not the hotel's fault. That's just the way it was built,
Yeah, and it's true. Because, I mean, like you said, they complain about the small things. And there's 3 hospitals around the area. 3 hospitals. You can see the hospitals. You can't go around saying, I didn't know there was a hospital. There's 3 hospitals that you pass through your car. I mean, you see ambulances all the time. You see people on...
Every night you hear ambulances, because there's always something going on. And especially, a lot of I would say majority of the people that stay there are probably people on business. There's a lot of people that stay there for months at a time because they're doing a lot of work around here. And then there's people that are waiting for, somebody, they have somebody at the hospital, and they stay there because that hotel's just right across the street. And then...
Yeah, and they complain about sirens, right? They always complain about sirens. I'm like, all right, next time I'll make sure that when we call 911, well, next time when you're dying, we won't call 911 so you can die faster. It's the fact that you're complaining about people trying to save other people. And because sirens mean what? Emergency. So, for you to complain that, oh, there's sirens, too much noise, it's they're saving lives. And if you chose to and you're dying, won't call them because they bother you. Mm-hmm. I mean, that's how you want to see the case. I mean, come on, you gotta have some respect. You gotta the siren may be annoying, but just understand there's reasons behind that siren. Someone probably has a heart attack. Someone's probably dying. Your grandpappy's maybe dying, and you don't you're over here complaining about the siren. They should never have a siren. You should probably die. You should probably die. You're an idiot for saying that kind of shit. But I don't know. People are. I think people who have money are the ones who have the tendency to complain the most. People who never had it are less likely to complain about it because they never had it. So when they actually have it, and then let's say a poor person goes into a nice ass hotel, they would never ask for anything ever.
Yeah. Especially that. I mean, my other coworkers that I've met in this job, they've all told me that, I mean, not all of them, but some of them let homeless stay there if they have the money and they're paying cash. They said this is when we used to accept cash. We would let them stay there. But see, the thing is, with that hotel, they're working on their image. And for example, one of my coworkers, she actually let a homeless stay there, and thinking that that those people wouldn't stay there because she thought they didn't have any money, and they said, "Oh, that's no problem, we could pay that," and then she was like, "Oh crap, I made a mistake." So she let them stay, and the next morning, they had breakfast, and they were just going down in their robes, and people were looking at them like, "Damn, what the fuck's this?" But it's not like we want to discriminate them, but it's just that they don't fucking shower,
Yeah, no, that's true. I mean, we're talking about homeless.
Yeah.
Homeless homeless are there for a reason. Some of them, it's rare in the area that we work in. It's rare to see a family of homeless, like a parent, a dad, and a mom, and so on.
Yeah.
Children. That's rare. I mean, well, actually, it is too rare. In our jobs, you see more of people who do drugs, alcoholics. People are sketchy people, like really crazy people. I mean, they come in there, it's like, oh, well, like he mentioned, oh, I can pay that, but then at the same time, you're like,
yeah, because with homeless, even if they do have the money to stay at the hotel, and let's just say whoever's working the front desk and they allow them to stay, chances are they would either make a mess in the room or they'll attempt to steal something.
Exactly. Yeah.
And it just doesn't look good, Nah, it's just the way it is,
It's just crazy. And then when you let's say like a Mexican mom a family Mexican who really do work, in the sense of poverty, not really homeless, more poverty. Because like I live like that, and I every time I stay at a hotel, I never ask for anything. I literally do not even ask for anything. I clean, like I literally when I check out, I don't leave the bed as it is. I actually like put the bed inside of like a...
Yeah, man, as far as when I stay at hotels like by myself or whatever, I usually clean up after myself. Don't leave a mess, but yeah. I mean for the most part I do clean up everything else. Maybe the only thing I don't really do sometimes is probably fix the bed, because I don't really... Usually I'll just sleep on top of the bed and then there's nothing to fix.
Yeah, see, like I do the same, and then I do every time I do eat a dinner at a restaurant, we have the tendency to like put the plates together and then put it on the side and then clean the table. It's just forced to have it though, because my mom used to be a waitress.
Yeah, because when you're... Well, I mean, that's just common courtesy, If it makes it easier for the those bus boys to pick up dishes if they're all in one spot.
Exactly, and it is because it's common courtesy. That kind of is like, it shows people and them that when you come back, they know that you're just gonna be an easy person. You're just gonna you can make their lives easier. They probably even be happy to see you. It's like, oh, yeah, you're really easy to get along. Like I remember you. I mean, that's just common courtesy. If you really, I've noticed a lot of people. Some people with money have the tendency to be dirty. Don't give a fuck. That's just nasty. I've seen worms where they're destructive, and this is nasty. It's just this is nasty. I can't. This is really nasty.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of people don't know, but there's certain rules when you stay at a hotel. Like when checking somebody in, it's really up to you if you want to check in that person. If they're being an asshole, you have the right to deny them. Especially if they're intoxicated. Technically, we're not supposed to let them stay. You gotta tell what, you're too intoxicated. We reserve the right to deny your services. And there's nothing they could do about it. It's not a secret, but most people don't know that.
Exactly. It's something that every job does require. Like if you're an asshole, you're not. We're gonna refuse service.
Yeah, the same thing goes for when I used to work at when I was a bouncer at a bar. Like if the person is being an asshole at the door, I could just say, you know what, you can't come in. You're being a dick to me. Sorry. And then if they're too drunk, obviously that's any bar you go to. If you're too wasted, they won't let you through. It's like, okay, sorry man, but you had enough to drink. You didn't. You were walking. You were stumbling to get to even walk up to the door and talk to me. You know.
Yeah, fuck that. No, you can't do. Nah, fuck that.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just, I guess, all around. There's some rude people out there. I think there's more rude people than there is nice people.
Yeah, they think that that whole thing. What is it? A customer's always right.
Oh, fuck yeah.
That shit is not always true.
That shit ain't gonna roll. Like, if you're an asshole, you're an asshole. And literally, like, I know, because I know my boss is not, I know he's not a pushover, but I think he thinks about it more in the sense of business. He's like, oh, well, this person's gonna pay money and so on. Okay, I understand that.
Yeah, if they have the money, why not? You know, because there's a certain quota they have to meet.
Exactly. And then when he does that, and I kind of just go, dude, because there was one guest there who, like, I don't know if he knew them, he was the manager or not. He kind of, like, he passes, like, the manager passes him. He's like, do you work here? He goes, yeah. And he goes, well, here, I'll get you something to do. I'm like, you don't do that. Like,
oh, you're talking about that one dude from like 419 or
416?
416, yeah.
That was a douche move. You can't do that.
He was like, oh, you want something to do? He throws his bag on the ground. He said, here, take that. I'm like, what?
Yeah, I know. And then he didn't say anything. I was tripping out. I was like,
I mean, he's lucky he didn't do that when, like, in the evening when I was on shift.
I know.
Because if Aaron was still there and they saw him walking through the hallways, and I'll be like, you know what, man, you can't do that shit. You know, I'm going to have to ask you to leave.
I know. And then the worst part is that there's two. Like, my manager, he's not much of a pushover, but it is kind of like the job. You can't just look and you go, okay. But, and then there's another one. Lorena does the same shit. Well, Lorena doesn't do... Well, she doesn't do the thing, but she says that, oh, well, it's customer service, you have to do it, you know? And it's more of a sense like, oh, like, that same guest asked for, there's water bottles in the room. We take water bottles, but we won't take ice to you. That's not part of our job. It's not even part of the job of anybody. That's your job. You have your bucket of ice in the room, and you go pick up the ice on your own. Then plus you're on the fourth floor, that's where the bucket of ice is at, or the ice machine's at.
Yeah, unless you're disabled and you can't get out of your, you know, you can't physically go up to the fourth floor and get the fucking ice, then that's when I come in. I could get it for you. There's certain things that I have to do. I mean, there's certain duties I have to do besides security. Like I have to, because since there's no houseman
at that time
at graveyard, I have to do some of that stuff, like take towels to rooms, take toilet paper, take shampoo, toothbrushes, whatever they need.
Exactly. You know, like we mentioned, there's some things we don't have to do, like that kind of stuff. You're rude, fuck you. I don't care who the fuck you are. Like this, like I said, that's a coworker who there is like, oh, you got to do the best customer service and this and that. Like, yeah, bitch, you're saying that because you don't do it, but you have other people do it for you, motherfucker. It's like,
yeah, even like my job I mean, compared to actual security, like, because I've worked for other companies before, it's not your traditional security work. I would say maybe about, it's either 40 or 60% is mostly customer service, and the rest of it is security.
Yeah,
for the most part.
Yes,
but see, the thing is, for me, customer service doesn't really apply to me too much because I don't see a lot of people during graveyard.
Yeah, you just understand that the job we do, you see a lot of assholes, huh? And then we know what we're talking about when we're telling there's assholes. I mean, these are assholes. Not only that, we work in a gay community. You know, usually half these people are assholes sometimes, which is because they believe that they're what is it? Not that they belong, more they deserve it. Like I deserve this.
Like they're entitled.
There you go. Yeah. A lot of them are really like believe they're entitled. It's like, bitch, everybody else may cater to you, but just understand that I'm the only front desk that will never cater to you, depending on how you come to me. If you come to me like you're entitled to it, I'm most likely gonna not do the full extent of it. I'll probably just do half the request you did. Just the fact that you did this, or I would actually deny it and tell you, I'll always lie to you, and because you're a douchebag. But if you come to me in a courteous way and you still look like you're entitled, but you came to me in a courteous way, I'll do it because at least I know you have some respect.
Yeah, because we don't have to. I don't know how it applies with hotel, but I'm assuming you don't have to give a reason all the time for like, you know, denying something to a person, or you know, denying them to stay at the hotel. Because when I was working at the bar before, we could easily just kick out anybody that's causing a problem. And they ask why, you say, you know, just because.
Yeah.
You don't have to give a reason. We have to tell them because, you know, if they're being disrespectful towards others, then they shouldn't be there.
You know, and it's crazy because, like I said, where we work at, it's a homosexual community. So we, like, 80% of our hotel is made up of, you know, the homosexual community, and then the other 20%, or 20% is made up of families or business.
Yeah,
or
but
hospital.
for the most part, it's mostly business and vacation, you know?
Yeah. So you'll see a lot of things. I mean, I had, like, changes the subject about the bully thing. This is, well, it's still a bully. It goes into consideration the bully thing, and then the whole, you know.
Kind of, I guess.
Yeah, no, it goes into it because if you're entitled, you're still trying to be a bully. The fact that you think you still have money and shit, or the fact that you believe that I deserve this. I'm like, no, you don't. You don't deserve it unless it drops into your feet or in your hand, then you deserve it. If you're over here trying to demand it, then you don't deserve it.
Yeah, it doesn't really matter how much money you have, but if you're an asshole, it doesn't make you a fucking better person.
Yeah, you're a fucking bully. And then, you know, we work, like I said, we work in a homosexual community. I used to, like, I didn't give a fuck, you know, about the homosexual community. I didn't ever give a fuck. I didn't care about any gays or lesbians. And then as you work there, you kind of start seeing, like, you kind of start losing, like, respect. I started losing respect a while back because I'm not homophobic, but I'm on the edge of being homophobic. Just the fact of those experiences I've had, you know? And then I work at a gay, we work at the gay community. I work at the front desk. I'm there with, like, all half these fuckers all the time, and I work with one. So, you know, you when someone tells you, when I'm straight, so I love women. I love the vajayjay. Don't get me wrong, I love the vajayjay, you know? So, yeah. But when a guy like me, and it's your day to, you know, you prance around or whatever the fuck you do, in your gay pride day, I don't care. You just do your thing, leave me alone. It's like me having my birthday. So, leave me alone. Like, when I say respect me, and then I don't want to bring any attention to me, just respect that, you know what I mean? It's like, you respect my decision because I'm respecting the fact that you're celebrating your day. And if you're not respecting that, I lose respect for you and a lot of you guys. Certain that those days, it's been like that. Like, I would, you know, like I said, I'm professional. I don't talk like this to the guest. I don't go, "What's up, homie? What's up, friend?" or whatever, dude, whatever. You know, I don't do that. I don't not talk to the guest like this. I do professional. I go, "Yes, sir. How? Yes, miss." I don't say madam. I only say sir and miss. And then you know, it's like I have a complete respect for every guest that comes in, and until you talk to me, that's different. But yeah, like I always say sir. I don't do anything that will cause any of these things. I had a couple situations where it was kind of rude, like for one of the, you know, a lot of the, you know, the community doing some weird shit. Like I was telling Michael a while back, about this guest who, you know, he's like, "How much is it to wash your laundry?" I'm like, "It's $3 for a load." And then what's the first thing he says? He says, "Oh, that's the cheapest I ever paid for a load." I don't get it. You know, I'm not gay, so I don't know what the fuck you're talking about. So if that person would have stayed quiet, I would never have gotten it. I would, you know what I mean? It's like, I would never have gotten it. I wouldn't really have cared.
Yeah.
And then, and he starts, you know, I'm just kind of in my quarters ignoring him. And he starts saying, "Oh, I'm pretty sure in your head you're going, ew, that's nasty, blah, 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 this and that." And I'm like, "Oh, this is nasty." And then I got it. I'm like, dude, come on. Like, I didn't say that, but in my head, I'm like, "Here's your quarters, sir." Well, I just gave him his quarters. "Here you go, sir. You have a good day." And in my head, I'm like, "Are you fucking shitting me right now?" It's like, does that really did? I'm like, what the fuck, you know?
It's just not necessary.
Exactly. I've the first day I worked there, some bald dude tried to convince me to have sex with him for 2 hours straight.
I mean, I've only been at that hotel for 4 months, and he was telling me that I figured that was gonna happen to me eventually. Like, some, you know, gay guy's gonna try to hit on me, and it did happen. There was this one time, this guy, I don't know, he stays. I think he's been at the hotel maybe twice. He's like I don't know. I think it's kind of he's kind of self-centered because he has a truck and he runs like a whole, like, I guess, on the go kind of massage thing.
I know you're talking
and then there's a picture of him, and I think it was called like Rainbow Massages or some shit like that. He's like some middle-aged guy. He comes to the front desk like in the evening, like it was kind of late. I forgot what he was requesting. I think it might have been like tea or coffee or some shit. And then he was talking to our coworker, and then he's like, "Yeah, we don't want you to." I don't know. I guess he was talking about something about causing problems or whatever. And he says, "I don't want to tell him to, kick you out or whatever." And I said, "Oh, I wouldn't want that. He's kind of cute." I'm like, well, he said some form of that, good looking or some shit like that. I'm like, I didn't take no offense to it, because considering the area, I'm like, whatever. I just brushed it off.
I think more of my problem is more like, if I respect you, have some respect for me, and if you don't know, ask, because I don't go around, I don't do that in front of you. I don't, you know what I mean? It's like I don't do anything like it's like, oh well, I love the vajayjay, you should try the vajayjay. I don't do that kind of shit. Don't do that. So like, have some fucking respect.
Yes, you have no problem with gays, but they have to know their boundaries.
Yeah.
If you say that, "Oh, I'm sorry, sir, I'm not gay. I'm actually straight."
Yes.
And then for most part they'll say, "Okay, I understand," blah blah. But then you get those pushy gays.
Yeah. Like they want to push their fucking agenda on you. It's like, dude.
they could reverse, our sexuality.
Yeah, and then the thing, my problem is, like I mentioned, is like I don't give a fuck what you do. Respect me. But like I mentioned, I'm like so close to being homophobic. I'm like, I can tell you, I'm close to 10% that I'm getting like being homophobic now, because not I don't hate anybody, but if you're like pushy like that, dude, come on, respect our sexuality and our options. Not everybody is gay in this world.
I mean, I understand you guys had a tough time, what is it? You've been going through a lot of shit over the years, like being accepted and everything. And when you finally do get accepted, there shouldn't be a problem. Even if the person that you want to like doesn't swing that way, don't get mad about it. Say, you know what, fuck it.
Yeah, just understand that. Like, if you go, oh, we barely came out, like, no, bitch. Like, you're like, the homosexuality's been around since Roman times, motherfucker. It's been in Rome. It's been
even samurais do it too.
Exactly. It was encouraged by samurais. Come on. But it doesn't mean that you should go over there encouraging other people. You should probably ask. Now in this age, you fucking ask a question like that, because it's like asking a girl if she has a boyfriend. That's respectful.
We're not we don't live in a closed-minded community. We're kind of accustomed to seeing homosexuality everywhere because it's a new generation, and it's just something we accept. If we accept you, you accept us too.
Yeah. Yeah, so I mean, what we're asking more of in the situation is more like, have some respect. Ask. The best thing you can do is just ask. I mean, just because you're a dude and you're gay does not. I mean, if you're dude, seriously, like if you're a dude, I'm gonna talk to you like a dude, and I'm gonna talk to you, and I don't care if it hurts your feelings, but just have some respect. All right, like you at least ask the person if they're in that situation, because.
I mean, it's fine to compliment a person like, "Oh, that guy's cute," blah, blah. That's it,
Yeah.
Don't go any further than that.
Exactly.
There's certain boundaries. If you're going to burst my bubble and say, "You know what, I'm going to have to stop you right there. I appreciate the compliment, but I'm not gay," and we'll leave it at that.
Yeah, because not even at work now, I can't be myself anymore, because then I'll get that kind of responses. Now I have to like be really straight up with you guys and just go, whoa, how you doing, sir? You have a good day, sir. Bye. And I'll be like, now I'm so serious. Now I'm really like a robot, like a fucking robot. I'll be like a robot there in front. And then when I notice, I mean, so like I said, it's a gay community. Of 80% of our customers are gay. So when you come in, I know what you look like. I know how you can tell. You can just fucking tell. We're not stupid. Like, and you come up to me, then I act like a robot. It's like, how you doing, sir? Here you go. And then I'm really serious, because I'm not gonna go around like, hey, how you doing, this and shit. Can't be myself. Like, how you doing, sir? I hope you're having a good day. But I don't do that anymore because of that main reason. Because a lot of people take friendliness, they confuse friendliness with being flirty. So,
yes, exactly. Yeah, they always misinterpret it.
Exactly, and it's the worst part. And now, I have to be serious with everybody. Like I said, my manager is gay. Or the assistant manager is gay, and I'm really serious with this guy now, because there's a couple of situations that I got involved with him that I think he took everything the wrong way with me. The fact that I was just being a friend, not something else. And then he's like he's old, man. And then I'm 28, and then he's old. So I mean, that's kind of, I find that creepy. I find that I'm not on the verge of being a pedophile, as just kind of like a pedophile in a different level. Like you're old and you're trying to get at a 20 something years old and you're like 30 years older than I am. That's creepy to me. That's kind of like adult pedophile. Like you're old, you should probably go with your old people and go grab your canes and walk around. You know, you mean go. You know, you're old. No one's you smell like fucking cheese. Get the fuck away from me. You know, like respect my boundaries and get the fuck away. Like that's exactly what I'm saying. I mean, that's how it is. I mean, it got to the point where I had to talk to the fucking manager. That's how fucked up this is. Worked there for a year, almost close to 2. It took me a year to tell, like, until a year passed by, and that's when I kind of noticed him doing some weird shit. So then that's when I'm like, I gotta tell the manager, man. I can't just, I can't handle this shit no more. Told him, but he didn't tell him in the sense like, oh, it's bothering him. No, I kind of just told him it's a personal problem, and then you just leave him alone. I mean, okay, I respect, that's perfectly fine because he is who he is. But when it goes into like in the mode where like he's trying to he's trying to not attack. What is it? Not attack, but targeting. It's just kind of creepy to me because I like the vajayjay. I love that vajayjay and then boobies. All right, I love that boobie and that vajay and the booty. All right, that's some good stuff. I love it. I mean, let me put it in a sense, a female. Because nowadays, if I say that, it's like everybody can get operated, fucking rhinoplasty and all that bullshit. When I say you're female, you're a natural born female. You're 100% you. But yeah, like it got to that point where I had to tell this fool to, tell him to back off. And he noticed that I was just stopped talking to him. He completely notices that he's talking. He's now in his corner, leaves me alone. And then sometimes he tries to get, talk to me. But he does it, like you said, like he kind of passes your personal bubble that you have, Yeah. Like you can't, as a guy, you don't get too close to another guy. You know what I mean? If you're a female, you can get close to a guy, that's whatever, because we're cool with that. We don't care. But when it's a guy, you don't get too close to a guy. You don't fucking close to touching arms. That's just weird. I mean, I guess some of us find it weird, but I find it weird. Like you get close to my bubble, you're like, dude, get the fuck away. I'm gonna back, walk a step behind. I'm gonna go fucking this, you know what I mean?
Yeah, because that's like borderline sexual harassment, and that's not accepted in the workplace.
Yeah, it's just creepy, dude. And
even if it is a gay community, you just gotta know there's a time and place for that, and there's certain boundaries you can't cross.
And then for you guys who are gonna go around going, oh, well, there's some straight guys who do that shit too. It's like, okay, I understand that. They should probably ask too, motherfucker. Understand that, like they should probably ask if you're, you as a female, you have a boyfriend, or a girlfriend, or you're a lesbian, whatever.
Yeah, pretty much.
But you gotta understand it goes both ways. It doesn't really go. I'm not saying that only gays do it and all this shit. I'm just saying that you should probably ask, both straight or gay. If you're a guy trying to hit on a girl and you're being like really disrespectful like that, you should probably ask, motherfucker. Same thing with the gays. You probably ask, and this is going more towards the male side because usually we as males have the tendency not to respect anybody just because we're fucking males, and then that's who we are, I guess. It's more of like, oh well, I don't know what the fuck is in your thought. I don't do that. I mean, I don't hit on a girl like that. I don't go, hey, you're fucking hot, sexy mama. Let me bite on them buns.
That's super disrespectful.
Yeah, I don't go. I don't go around saying that kind of shit. It's like let me pour some frosting on them buns. That kind of shit. Right. Exactly, I don't say that. I don't say that. That just comes out because of like just fucking funny. But we don't say that shit. I have the tendency, if I do hit on a woman, I have the tendency to make them laugh. That's my thing. I go up, have a good conversation, and then I make them laugh. That's my thing. And then when they start laughing, and then you can tell that, there's something I call the stare, where a woman does to when they stare at you, and you can tell they like you. There's a stare. They do. Yeah. And I forgot what, I can't explain it. You guys, I'm pretty sure some of you guys understand the stare. But, that's what I do. I do the stare. And you can tell, like, they like you and so on, and they're really flirty and shit. But, yeah, it's nice sometimes, right?
Yeah, of course.
But, yeah, so you want to end it, or?
I think that's good enough. It's long enough, Yeah, so, we're going to try to make this weekly thing, hopefully we'll try to do this every Thursday. If not, it'll be every other Thursday. You know, hopefully SoundCloud will work. Otherwise, I have to go to a different website. But I'll check on it later, and then I'll. I mean, there's a little certain tweaking I have to do to this audio. I'll probably add like a little like clip of a sound bite of you know, like we had on our YouTube of like some song, like instrumental shit or whatever, you know.
Mm.
But that's it for now. So this is Ziggy.
This is Pony. Thank you for listening to Lower Class Podcast.
Yeah, we'll see you guys later.
Peace out.